Okay, welcome again. Today we are going to see another part of vectors. So in the last lecture of mine, you might have seen that how to find the resultant of more than two vectors. The method is same even if you want to find the resultant of two vectors also. So 2, 3, 4, 5, any numbers, use the same method. The method is like this. Find the x component of each vectors, find the y component of each vectors, and then you add them or subtract them depending upon the direction. If two are acting in the same direction, let us say I cap, then the x component will get added up. If one is acting along I cap, other is acting along minus I cap, then you can subtract them. So it's a simple addition and subtraction, and then you get a final x component and a final y component, and then you know how to find the resultant. Resultant will be equal to root over of x square plus y square. Okay. What next? So today we are going to see the vector addition law. Now, when we say vector addition, we are going to see how it looks like. How do we represent a vector, and then what is vector addition law? No formulas as such, okay, just the diagram, the arrow diagram of vectors, okay, so that we can at least understand what does this signifies to us. So definitely you have learned this earlier. So in the vector addition law, suppose if you have let us say a vector A, I will start from the most fundamental example. Suppose if you have a vector A and then you have a vector B. So this we called as a resultant vector R. Every book says this, that if you have vector A and then you have vector B, then this is my resultant R. Now what exactly is resultant? A and B are the vectors which are acting. For example, if I consider force, and if I consider A and B as to be a force, then A and B are the actual force being applied on a body. So what is the resultant? Resultant is not the actual work, it is the net of both. Okay. If you have to understand this, what is this diagram means? It means simply like this, that suppose if you have a block, and to this block you are applying, let us say somebody is pulling in this direction of 10 Newton, somebody is trying to pull it in this direction of, let us say, 20 Newton, then the body will either go in this direction nor it will go in this direction. It will go in the resultant direction, and that is what we call as R. Okay, so this is what we call as R, resultant direction. Okay, this A and B, you can represent this as A. I'm assuming that you know that you can shift a vector in a space. So you can shift a vector in a space. So basically you can just put it over here. This is your 20 Newton. This means that these two, this one and this one, these two means that they are acting on the body. Okay, and this is my resultant R. So even if I draw 20 Newton over here or I draw 20 Newton over here, both are same thing. There is nothing different in that. In vector addition, the law says in vector addition, if you have drawn the first vector like this from tail to head in this direction, this we call as tail, this we call as head. So this means it is a vector which is acting along this direction. And if the question says there is another vector acting along y direction, so you cannot draw it like this, because if you draw it like this, you cannot make it. If I say I cannot make it in a form of this, that means a cyclic loop. It has to look like a cyclic loop. Okay. So even if somebody says that a vector B is acting here, that means you can very safely shift it and you can put it over the head. So put it here over the head. Once you have put this over the head, then you can remove this part. So vector addition law says that the vector should be arranged in tail head and tail head combination. Those vectors which acts on a body should be arranged in tail head combination, and if they are arranged in that kind of combinations, then the resultant can be drawn from the initial tail to the final head. So initial tail to the final head. This becomes my resultant. Okay, so this we called as R vector equals to A vector plus B vector. This is what we call as A vector plus B vector. Remember, this is not the way of finding the resultant magnitude. Resultant, to find the magnitude, you have to use a formula of root over a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta, or matrix if there are more than two vectors. This just gives you an idea. See, what is the role of this? This gives us an idea. Idea means that if I have two vectors, then how does the resultant may look like and which angle it may look like. It just gives an idea. It does not give us the full picture. To get the full picture, you have to rely on those formulas. So this gives you an idea that okay, this is my A vector and this is my B vector. So this will be my, somewhere here in this direction will be my resultant. For example, now I'll discuss the example here. So the rule should be very clear to you. The rule says that those vectors which are the acting vectors, those vectors should be arranged in the sequence of tail head, tail head, tail head format. And to find the resultant, the first tail and the last head will give you the resultant. For example, let us say like this. I am trying my best to clear the confusion. See, look at here. Now suppose I have three vectors in a space. 1, 2, 3. Same question I discussed in the last lecture also. So suppose if I give you a value here, let us say 10 Newton, 20 Newton, 30 Newton, and then if I give you the angles and all. Then if I ask you to find the resultant, you know how to do the resultant, correct? You will find the component here, I component. Each vectors you will take and you will name the vector as vector A. You will name this as vector B. You will name this as vector C. Then you will write the vector A in terms of its I and J. Then you will write B in terms of its I and J. Then here I will be negative. Then you will write C in terms of its J component, which is downward. Okay, and then you will add them up all. So you will segregate all the I component, then you will segregate all the B component. That will lead up to what? That will lead up to finding the resultant, magnitude and the direction. Now, all questions will not ask you to find direction. Suppose in this question I am asking you, draw the as per the triangle addition law, draw the vector diagram. Just you have to draw the vector diagram. How does the vector diagram looks like over here? So in this type of questions, magnitudes will not be given to you. First of all, magnitudes will not be given to you. So this is type B type of question. Okay, type B type of question. So let us say this is my vector A, this is vector B, and this is vector C. Okay, now they are asking you that the question is saying that draw the vector diagram. So I have to arrange them in the format of A, B, and C. Now what is the vector A? So you just write here as vector A. So I'm going to draw it here now. Vector A. So A taken here. So you write here as A. Vector A done. Okay. Now vector B. If you want to vector B, now you shift it. Remember, you can always shift it, and you can shift it parallel. So if you have to shift it, you can always shift parallel like this or like this. Either like this or like this. Okay. So I have to bring it over here. So I have to put the tail of B at the head of A. So it is pointing in this direction. Bring it, bring it. So this is my vector B. What about vector C? Vector C, I have discussed this vector C now. So vector C, bring it. Okay, I'll see again. Look at here, vector C. I have to place it over here. So bring it here and then bring it here. Okay. So this is my vector C. My vector B and this is my vector C. Okay, so this is A vector, B vector, and C vector arranged. A vector, B vector, and C vector. See, the way I am arranging, that is more important. It should be in the format of tail head, tail head, tail head combination. So tail. What is the resultant of these three vectors? The resultant of these three vectors, I have to take the first tail and the last head and join them. This becomes my resultant. And how will I write? I will write like this. A vector plus B vector plus C vector is equal to R vector. This is how you write. Tail head, tail head. Resultant, first tail to the last head. We will do some more. Say that each magnitude, each length is of same size. Okay. are the three vectors, vector A, B and C. Now how are you going to arrange them? Okay. So first this is your vector A, bring vector B, so this is my vector B, then bring vector C. Vector C you have to bring it like this. Okay, so this is my vector C. So what's the resultant? Start from here and drop it here. So this is my resultant. Okay. So this is A plus B plus C is equal to vector. Then we will find some questions which will be like resultant is 0. Okay, I will not go to resultant is 0. That's the next step. There will be some questions in which they will give you a diagram and then it will ask you to write the vector expression. Like what is the vector expression over here? The vector expression is A vector plus B vector plus C vector equals to R vector. Now suppose if in the question I am giving you a vector and say that the vector looks like this. This is my C vector, this is my A vector, and then this is my B vector. Now how will you write this one? Now if you don't know the concept, trust me, you will write blindly A plus B equal to C vector. Right away you will write A plus B equal to C vector. That is not the case. See what is the format here. Check the detail here. Check the details clearly over here. Now this is my tail head. Okay. Start from here, you go to here. Okay. C. Then from C, the head ends. The tail starts. So this C and A are in the head and tail format, and then B is starting from here and is ending up at this point. So that means my C vector plus A vector is equal to your B vector. The resultant is B. There is one more trick to it, and that is most interesting trick. The trick is we always put at last 0. That's a trick. There is another method. At the end equal to always 0. Now what is the trick? Start from one point, come back to the same point. So long if you are following A to B order, I mean tail head order, keep adding up. The moment you encounter the reverse direction, take a minus. What does it mean? Look at here. If I start from here, tail. So tail head, head, tail. So this is the reverse order. So tail, head, head, tail. So you will write here as C vector plus A vector. Then this is the reverse order. So you will write this as minus B. In this method, last result will be always 0. Over here, look at here. Tail, head, head, tail. Same result. Correct? But here we always put the at the end equals to 0. So this is another way of doing it. Whenever you have a confusion, use this. I always prefer to use this when I have confusion. What is happening, I don't know. I just start from one point and I will just not come back to the same point. Whatever comes tail head format, I will keep added up. And the moment I encounter the reverse order, I will just put a minus sign. But at the end, equal to 0. Now let's see over here this question. Say that you have this question over here. This is A vector, B vector, C, D, E, F. These many vectors are acting on the same particle. You know what does it mean? See, this all, when I was in class 11, I used to think that who will apply a forces like this? I mean, how can a forces can be acting in a vector form like this? It's not the way. This is, see, vector happening, exactly happening, the way it happens, and the way we write the vector diagram is different thing. This means, trust me, this means this one. You are having a body is here, you are applying a force, this force, and you are applying one more force. This is A vector, this is my D vector. Then you are applying one force in B direction. In B direction, you are applying one force over here. Look at here, this is your E. Look at B and E, exactly anti-parallel. So this is my anti-parallel, E. Now you have one more force, C. C is acting in this direction. C is acting in this direction. Exactly opposite to that is F. F is acting in this direction. Where will the body move? If I apply A, B, C, D, E, F forces in this way, where will the body move? The body will go zero displacement. because if all of them are same magnitude, if all of them are of the same magnitude, B cancels E, C cancels F, A cancels D. What is the net force? Net force is 0. Are we getting the same result in the vector diagram? So when we try to draw a diagram of this to get an idea of the resultant, we see that we draw it and we end up like this. So now if I have to write, I will write like this: A vector, tail head, tail head, tail head, tail head, tail head, tail head equals to 0. Whole thing added up equals to 0. What was happening here? C and A being added up used to give me B. Here I am not getting anything. So here this is called cyclic vector, that the whole net effect of all these vectors is 0 at the end. Okay. So make this thing very clear. What happens actually the way we apply the forces, the way we want to note it, draw it in a vector diagram, these two things are different. So what happens and what we draw, this is what we learned in class 11. If this is happening, then this is what we draw to get this answer. Okay. Next thing. Now, if this is my A vector and this is my B vector, then I am calling this as R vector. Now, you might be knowing one thing, that if this is my A vector, then I can flip it downside for a given vector. If I have to draw in the opposite direction, I can do that, but I have to write a minus sign. This, I hope you know that. So if a vector is given to you, and if you wish to draw a vector in the opposite direction, you can do that, but you have to put a minus sign. So this what is this vector? This is my resultant vector of A vector plus B vector. Now I want you to draw how does the resultant looks like for A vector minus B vector for the same. So A is same. Now what is B? B is in this direction. Flip it. If you flip it, it goes in this direction, and you put minus B here, and this becomes the resultant R. How will you write? You will write R, A vector, tail head, A vector, tail head, but this vector itself is negative. Okay, so I will write plus and then I will write minus. Okay, it is following the order of tail head, so I am writing a plus. But this vector itself is negative because I have flipped it, so I am putting a minus sign. And then head tail. So minus R equals to 0, and then you can take R on that side. So this is nothing but A minus B is equal to R vector. So this is how it looks like. This is R, this will be a new resultant. R dash vector. This will be a new resultant, R dash vector. Okay? Now, if you can see here, if there are two vectors, in this particular case, the resultant vector, this is important to understand here. If I ask you what is the angle between A and B, and if I give you an option, angle between A and B is acute, obtuse, right angle. Trust me, what you will write as that the angle between A and B is obtuse. And I will say the wrong. Why it is wrong? Because again I am telling you, angle, when you say angle between A and B vector, I mean that the tail of A and the tail of B should be at the same point. When the tail meets, then that angle is what we call as angle between the two vectors. Okay? But if I have to find a resultant using a vector diagram, I have to shift this vector B over here. So I will shift the vector B over here. Correct? This was my B vector. And then this is my resultant R. This was my B vector. So if I consider this was my B vector, same way I can consider this was my A vector also. And this is what we call as parallelogram law of vector addition. Okay? Where the resultant is shown as a diagonal. But that is not what I'm intended to teach here. Now if I consider that the resultant, so here I was saying, so if I consider A and B, I asked a question over here, what is the angle between A and B, and I said that angle between A and B is acute angle. That part is clear? Okay, I'll just stop this rubbish thing over here. Okay, so the angle between A and B was acute angle. Now what is the resultant angle? Will it be more than that acute angle, or will it be less than that acute angle? So the answer here is, if this is my acute angle and the resultant angle will be beta, let us say, then beta is obviously less than theta. Okay. Now you cannot because this, if I it's a very good question actually. It's a very confusing question. In the option, beta was given as more as a obtuse also. Beta was given as acute also. Beta was given as more than the obtuse of theta. Beta was given as more than the less than the acute of theta. Answer is beta is less than the acute of theta. Okay. So remember, when you say I want to know the angle between two vectors, the angle between two vectors is defined by the angle between the two vectors when the tail meets each other. Okay. So what we draw, again I am repeating, what we draw in vector addition diagram is totally different thing. It's a new concept over here, but how this thing happens actually on a body, that is totally different. Okay, so the way we relate it is where we use this concept of vector addition law. Okay, head tail method, you can shift a vector in a space so that you can arrange them in head tail method. So keep that this is also in mind. Okay. Now here they will ask you, it's a very simple question. In vector addition law, the questions are very simple. Here they will ask you, what is the vector so that the resultant vector becomes 0? What should be the vector? Let us say x vector, I have to put it here. What should be the x vector so that the resultant vector is 0? So over here, if I consider the vector A plus vector B plus vector C, okay, plus let us say x vector, and the whole thing must be equal to 0. So what is the x vector? X vector should be equal to minus of A vector plus B vector plus C vector. So minus of this, that means this was the resultant vector of A vector plus B vector plus C. So if I have to use the word resultant over here, I can write A vector plus B vector plus C vector. Now what is x? X is minus of this. That means x is minus of resultant. So this is your R. That means the value of x should be this one. Okay. Alternate method. You can just go for the alternate method also. So the value of x is equal to how much? Minus of A plus B plus C. Or you will get the same answer even if you just write here as A vector plus B vector plus C vector plus x vector equal to 0. So the x vector will be equal to minus of A vector plus B vector plus C vector. Okay. Or you can think of the resultant, that whatever would have been the resultant from A to C, the negative of that, if you fill it up there, then the whole thing becomes 0, or just you add up over here and that will be your final answer. This question which I just okay, trust me, there are the wordings of the question may change in such a way that you know the answer is 0 here, the resultant is 0. but I will tell you the wordings will change in such a way that you will not be able to identify that I am dealing with this question. Trust me. If it is an equilateral or is a regular hexagon, then what should be the angle here? This angle must be equal to 60 degree, correct? So they will give you a question like this, that the first vector makes an angle, the second vector makes an angle of 60 degree with the first vector. The second vector makes an angle of, the third vector makes an angle of 120 degree with the first vector. The fourth makes an angle of 180 degree with the first vector, and so on. So the first makes an angle of 60 degree, second makes an angle of second makes an angle with the first as 120, third makes an angle with the first as 180. Remember, these two are in the opposite. One is going that direction, one is going this direction. So 180. 180 plus 60 is 240. So the fourth one will make an angle of first, second, third. Fourth one will make an angle of 240, and the last one will make an angle of 300 with the first vector. What is the resultant vector? That means we are talking about this very question. Answer is 0. Okay. So I will give you certain questions based on that. You have to just, I will not give you the answers. The answer itself is the solution. So I'll just give you some questions. Try to get the answers as per the vector addition law. In the next lecture, we are going to see we are going to see the dot product and the cross product, and yeah, that will be more interesting. Thank you for watching.